Hello, welcome to the second Calling All Stations live stream. You're here at Woodford Wells, and instantly, if you watched the last one, you may notice that I've had to reduce some of the multi-screen shots. Now, this is for a couple of reasons. Firstly, it's making it easier for me to manage, and secondly, it's putting less strain on my internet and less strain on the Wi-Fi. Excuse me. She's been running up and down the stairs trying to get some water. If my voice gives out, I do apologise. Anyway, last time we had a shot of the layout diagram to see what TrainController, the automation software, was doing. I've done away with that with the time being. We might tap into that a little bit later. We'll see how this stream holds up, because the last stream was a bit flaky, wasn't it? Sometimes it froze and it kind of it didn't hold together too well. So I'm just having a little look on the YouTubes to see what the quality is like. It's not too bad. Okay, we'll roll with that. So yes, I've had to lose the layout diagram from TrainController. We might bring that back later on. I think we had 4 cameras last time. One running through my iPhone's Wi-Fi. I think that everything coupled together in that situation all started to slow down. To get on to TrainController from my laptop here, I have to go over the Wi-Fi and do a remote connection. So it all really slows down. It all really clogs up. Hello, people are joining. Excellent. That's really good. Hello, everybody. Hello, Matthew. Hello, Reese's Trains. Kames I am. You watched the Shippy Hill video. Hello. You're coming over from all the stations. Hello, everybody who's joined from all the stations. I noticed a few of my numbers went up recently. So if you're new to the channel, thanks for joining. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for commenting. And this is one of the things I do, or one of the things I try to do, is build a model railway behind me. And I'm very aware, for model railway fans of my channel, I'm very aware I've not been doing too much model railway stuff recently. So this is why I'm doing this tonight, is to do a little bit more model railway stuff, because I think we've been missing that out of late. It's going good, Ben. It's going good. So I'm just reading some of your comments. Very hard to talk and read comments at the same time. You've made one of my streams finally. This is from Matthew. I've only done 2 streams, to be fair, so 50%. You've done 50%. Good evening, everybody joining. Well, if you've got any questions about the layout, do ask. So what have I got running tonight? So I've been working on this setup for about an hour to make sure it works this time, because that was one of the problems we had last time, was trains kind of got stuck in their schedules and they didn't move around as much as I liked. This schedule system that I've got running now, hopefully it's going to be a bit more interesting. And although we've only got the cameras on Woodford Wells, we might be able to move them around later. Although I've only got them on Woodford Wells at the moment, you should be able to see things leaving and arriving at Woodford Wells fairly regularly. Basically, everything's on a kind of cyclical schedule pattern, and everything's going to go round and round and round. And they're all going to occupy the same spaces eventually. So you should see 4 trains running. There's a Class 411 2 EPB in BR Blue-Grey. There is the Class 108 that you can see now in Network Southeast. There's the Class 24 that's just left. Strictly not accurate, as Class 24s would have been withdrawn by the time my layout era existed, by the 1980s, but hey, we'll let that slip. And finally, there is a Class 411 4 CEP. Now, the thing with this one is it's running only with 2 coaches, so it's not strictly prototypical. The reasons for that are slightly complicated, but it's to do with running over the points in Croxley West, which I haven't got. I'm just going to see what some of you guys are saying. Lovely layout, thanks very much. The attention to detail is excellent. I do appreciate the comments. I do try. Where is your model set as in region? That's a good question, Reese. It is set in London in the 1980s. Network Southeast era. If I had to put a year on it, it would be 1987, but it's kind of, I have stuff that sort of spills over into the early 90s. That's the era of what you're watching now, Woodford Wells. The region is kind of supposed to be a pan-London area. So you've got a third rail system, but the layout's name is Woodford Wells, and Woodford is in northeast London. I got told off for saying it was in North London last time. So it's got an East London postcode. It's north of the river. Excuse me. So it's supposed to represent a pan-London layout, a bit of everything from all over London. It is based on the platform layout of Chingford, which is not too far where I live. Any plans to expand the layout, especially Woodford Wells? Okay, so I did expand the layout once to include an underground station. I've not got that on camera at the moment. Maybe I'll do some shot changes in a minute. The extension is called Croxley West. That set it's based on single platform underground stations. So think Mill Hill East meets Chesham meets, well, that's about it. It's not really a Kensington Olympia. But it's also kind of taken influence from Croxley Green station, which was closed in the 1990s and had when it was closed, it was in Network South East colours, but a sort of single track branch line, sort of in the suburbs, kind of a lesser used area. So that's Croxley West. I will show that later on. But in terms of doing any more expansions, I just unfortunately don't have the room for any more expansions. Hi, did you go and see all the stations at Shippey Hill? Yes, watch the All the Stations video today. I'm in it on the train from Shippey Hill. I'm going to be doing my own Shippey Hill video. I've got so much stuff to edit, so it's going to be probably in a couple of weeks' time. But it's my take on that day. We met all the stations team early in the morning, about 7 o'clock, and we did that journey to Norwich. Does Crossrail count as a tube line, or is it part of the National Rail Network? This is from Susan. Well, officially it's part of the National Rail Network, yes. It's interesting what TfL are doing with the marketing for Crossrail. They are kind of pushing the idea that it's just another tube line. We know that from the name Elizabeth Line, from all the branding. And the idea is, as with the tube, that you don't rely on a timetable. You just rock up and you use it, and the train will arrive hopefully within a few minutes. So you will rely less on a timetable. So I think they are trying to push it like a tube line, but officially it's a national rail line. James Buckley, hello. Have I been to Shippey Hill before? No, that was the first time I've been to Shippey Hill. Will I go again? I don't know. Maybe I will go again. It's kind of a place you've got to visit. It's just so deserted. And when we arrived at sort of 6:30 in the morning to kind of prep for the shots and everything, it was kind of very grey. It was raining. It was very atmospheric, and then it's just everywhere you look, 360 degrees. It's just flat, open farmland. It's very atmospheric, a little bit spooky. I'd recommend going if you can get there. Let's see. So on Tube Challenge, would it count as a line? So no, Crossrail wouldn't count as having to do cover it on Tube Challenge. Reddish South. So I was talking, you'll see in the video that I put up about Shippey Hill, is that we were then trying to second guess what the next least used station will be. And if anybody watching can tell me how they work out, or when the time scale is for when they work out the least used station statistics, I think it's done on the financial year. So we might not actually see our figures until December 2019, if that makes sense, because we're currently in the period 2017 to 2018, which will be, 2016 to 2017 has just finished, April just gone, so they will be compiling those statistics to be released in December. Obviously, because it's June, we are now in the 2017 to 2018 group of statistics, so I think that will appear in 2019. So we won't actually see our statistics until next year, I don't think. If anybody can confirm that, do let me know. Do drop a comments in the chat, or if you're watching this on repeat, let me know, because I'm curious about when we will actually see our figures count. But my main point was with this, I was talking to Chris, and you'll see this in the video. We were trying to work out what the next least used station will be, because last year it had 12 users. We beat that. Whether that will be next year or this year, we were trying to work it out. But if we increase the numbers beyond 12, is Shippy Hill still going to be the least used station? Is it going to be Reddish South? Is it going to be Pilning? Barry Links, one of those kind of stations. Sugarloaf is always up there, isn't it? Denton, also on the Staley Bridge to Stockport line. I would like to do that line, because there's kind of a community group at South Reddish, isn't there? And they kind of do some upkeep on the station. And I would like to do that line at some point. One train a week on Fridays, 9:27. That's a lot later than the Shippy Hill train. I could stay in bed another couple of hours, if I was staying in Manchester. Are they overhead lines? Sorry, I must have missed the original. Are they overhead lines? What do you mean? So Tommy says he doesn't think it will be Denton. Just reading some of your comments. Ben went on the Flying Scotsman the other day. Wow, and I went on the footplate. Best time of my life. I'm not surprised. Did that set you back a few quid? I bet it did. Hello, Alistair. Yes, I know you from Twitter. Excellent. Did you enjoy I did enjoy the trip to Clacton and Walton and all through Essex. You know what? I didn't realise how much railway history there sort of was in Essex, despite the fact I'm from Essex. I've sort of not given it so much of a second thought. So to go to Braintree, to go to Sudbury, and then to see all these sort of footpaths that used to be old lines was quite interesting. Going up to Walton, where you got the old station building that we found. Clacton, very interesting station. You've got this fantastic Art Deco facade built in 1929, and this kind of rather unusual sort of waiting area. It's all kind of exposed to the elements, but this sort of big platform canopies, and there's kind of these old gate lines, and a place they're still using old CRT monitors. I didn't think there was anywhere using CRT monitors. I thought they were all the fancy LCD type these days, but there was still a place, Clacton, still using CRT monitors. It's got a very, very retro feel. Hello, Transport and Stuff 808. You're the person who sent me pictures on Twitter. Yes, you are. Thank you very much. Is there another map challenge video soon? Yes, there is. This is another thing. I'm so behind on all my video editing. I've got loads of stuff still to come. So yes, we filmed another map challenge video. We filmed it ages ago. It included... it was at the same time we did the D-Stock video. So it was kind of Richmond and Chiswick. Sorry, not Chiswick, Kew Gardens, all that kind of area. It's going to be a bit of a mismatch, the next map challenge video, because there's kind of bits from all over London. We've kind of glued it together, but it's all been filmed. It's just got to be put together. The next video I think I want to put out, if it's not going to be the Shippy Hill one, it will be another Meet the Fleet rolling stock video. I've had the Class 33 video scripted for God knows how long. I just need to get around to filming it. So I'm going to push myself and actually get around to filming that and doing that. Then what else have we got in the pipeline? So we've got the 33 Meet the Fleet video. We've got the Shippy Hill video. I've got another couple of videos from Scotland still to do, doing the Jacobite steam train. And also I paid a visit to Kyle of Lochaush station, which is quite interesting, very scenic. So they are going to be coming up soon. Alistair asks, just going to ask, what are the dimensions of Woodford Wells? Good question. So it's much longer than it is wide, as you can probably see. I'm very aware, as things sort of stopped, I hope things haven't stopped, because I will have to go and restart them. Yeah, I think things have stopped. Bear with me, I'm going to go and restart some things, and I'll answer that question, Alistair, in a second. Okay, nice and simple one. The Class 108 had just got stuck. I think it had just met a little bit of dead track. There we go. It's all running again. That's good. Sorry, Alistair, your question. How the dimensions. So Woodford Wells, the main section that you're looking at there, the full length of that part of the layout is, 10 foot by 1 foot. So it's not very deep at all. I don't have much room to play for, so I went for end-to-end length over sort of width. So it's 10 foot by 1 foot. The extension from Croxley West is sort of another 4 foot around the corner. Right, and now I've got to go and catch up on your comments. Sorry about that. Hello, Toby. He says he watched the Network Southeast video and that there's still some Network Southeast ticket office frontage at Chislehurst Station. If you've got any pictures of them, do send them in. I might include them in a future Network Southeast video. British Railways 1967. Hello, thanks for joining us. Old station buildings at Walton-on-the-Naze, I think, included a hotel. Yes, it did include a hotel. And there was a loco shed there too. Yeah, there's some fantastic old pictures. Do search for Walton-on-the-Naze historic photos on Google. It shows you what it used to be like. Now, my question is, go back and watch the Clacton videos, both mine and all the stations. At the front of Clacton, at the front of Walton, there's a white building with kind of blue trim around it. And it's kind of behind the station building. And at some point I say, I'm not sure even that could be part of it. Was that part of the hotel, I wonder, or was that just a completely separate building? It kind of had a bit of a station feel. That's the reason why I asked. Hello, James Buckley. You enjoyed the transport roulette videos. Now you've just reminded me of another thing I want to film. We've come up with a new version of transport roulette that's more competitive. It's less based on sort of rolling the dice and chance, but it is sort of another TFL-based game that we intend to film and play. But I need to get sort of 4 or 5 of my colleagues together to actually film that. So I need Victoria and Rob and everybody for that one. So do watch out for that, but that's going to be months' time. But we are going to do a sort of follow-up game. What's going on? Southwest 455. Hello, thanks for joining. You guys are talking about if you would live in a train. Fair enough. Well, you can go on camping coaches. You can go up to the North Yorkshire Moors Railway and you can stay in an old Mark 1 coach that they've kitted out as kind of a holiday cottage sort of thing. I do want to do that at some point. So it's feasible to stay in a train. Hey, and if you want to stay in one that's still working, just go on the Caledonian Sleeper for a week or so, just doing journeys back and forth. You could live on it, right? Actually, there was an interesting story, wasn't there, of a girl in Germany who literally just up sticks and went and lived on sleeper trains for, I don't know, months. So it is possible to go and live on a train. I'd have to do sleeper trains with showers, I think. Right. What do you think is the most awkward tube station? Kensington Olympia, without any shadow of a doubt. It's Kensington Olympia. If you're going to do tube challenge, there's like one train a day on the weekday that stops at Kensington Olympia. I'm not too sure about the timetable actually, but most of the time it's only scheduled on Saturdays and Sundays and early mornings, and maybe 1 or 2 in the evening peak at Kensington Olympia. It is very awkward. When we did our tube challenge for the charity event last year, we started at Kensington Olympia, ticket out the way early. I think that's probably the easiest way to do it. Ben, you're talking about Flying Scotsman. Yes, I did see you replied. Thanks for replying again. Setback, £220 for 1 ticket in Pullman dining coach. How long were you on the Scotsman for? And there was 4 of us. It cost £1,000. That's not bad. But you are behind Flying Scotsman, so... and you enjoyed the experience, I hope. What was the food like? Brighton Bell, you guys are still talking about if you would live on a train. Looking into model railways for your... this is Alistair talking about the dimensions. Want the basement, so 10 by 1 sounds good to me. Download... what's the program? It's called AnyRail 5. Download AnyRail 5 and you can play with dimensions, you can play with track plans, and you can kind of get a feel for what it might look like if you built it. Certain dimensions, everything. Any Rail 5, it's free. You get a free trial. It's pretty much an unlimited trial, but the only thing you're limited to is number of pieces that you put down. So it's enough to design something like Woodford Wells. I designed everything on Any Rail 5, which was free. Least favourite tube station. I've got a few that I don't like. I don't know if I've got a least favourite one. There are certain interchanges that I don't like doing. I don't like interchanging at Bank. It just seems like a complete muddle. It's always too busy. Other ones I really don't like using. That's a very tough question. I'll have to think about that. But off the top of my head, Bank, I just don't like using that station. It's just to interchange. You always feel like you're walking for miles wherever you interchange to. Yeah, Bank probably. Southwest 455 says, every time it's at Kensington Olympia, there's always a train ready to leave. You are obviously blessed with tube train times, Southwest 455. Rail replacement buses from the Olympia branch. What's my favourite train? I'm not sure I have a favourite train. I have favourite lines. I'm kind of a bit more like, less so than Jeff claims to not like trains. I would argue against it because he certainly knows his train numbers and his class numbers. But I'm kind of that. I prefer railways to trains. But yeah, I do like a few trains, obviously. Otherwise, I wouldn't be modelling them. In terms of my favourite models, well, I do quite like the set that we've got out. I do really like the Class 416 I've got there. That's a really nice model. The 101 that we had out last time, I'm a big fan of that one. Could I move the camera? Yes. Should we go and get some new shots? I'm just going to flick through a few more comments. I'm also aware I don't want to make this a really long stream. Last time we were here for like hours. So I will move some shots around. Favourite tube station. I will move the shots around and then I will answer that. Talk amongst yourselves. Right, how's that looking? I can just see me moving the camera. That's really weird. Right, I need to catch up now. I've done that. We can see him changing the cameras. I can weirdly, I can now see myself changing the cameras because of the delay. HS2, yes or no? This is really difficult because I'm a big fan of new infrastructure projects. I'm really excited about Crossrail. But is HS2 the best value for money we can get? I'm not sure. I think there are possibly better things we could invest the money in. I mean, you hear all these stories about the electrification of the Great Western Main Line and the Transpennine routes constantly being delayed due to financial reason. It's like, well, why not use the money from HS2 to pay for that and upgrade that quicker and get more capacity? Anyway, that's just my opinion. What do you guys think about HS2? Do you think we need it, or do you think the money would be better invested elsewhere? Somebody asked what favourite tube stations were. I think I did this last time. I don't really have a favourite, an outstanding favourite, but I do have a few that I quite fond of. Chigwell, I like Chigwell. Farringdon, Canary Wharf, I just love the architecture of Canary Wharf, absolutely fantastic. The same with the Jubilee Line platforms at Westminster, absolutely love them. But yeah, Chigwell, Farringdon. I recently went down to Kew Gardens as part of the map challenge video. I really like Kew Gardens, that's a really nice station. Southwest 455, what's the least used underground station? It's Roding Valley, which is not far from me. What cameras am I using? I'm just using some really rubbish old webcams, to be honest. As I get better at these streams, I might consider upgrading the quality. The one bottom right is just a really, really old webcam. The one bottom left, it's a Logitech. It's something I bought recently. It's 20 quid from Maplins. It's the Logitech sort of 720p camera. Right, what else is going on? A couple of people saying yes to HS2, a couple of people saying no to HS2. It's quite divisive, isn't it? Hell no, HS2, it involves demolishing Euston, the London Underground Surface building. You mean the Leslie Green facade? Yes, they're going to have to knock that down to accommodate the new Euston for HS2. Now, this is interesting about Euston. Was it on my Caledonian Sleeper video? Was it on one of Jeff's all the stations videos as they left Euston? Or they were passing through. People don't like. There was a lot of comments about people not liking Euston because it's sometimes seen as a bit dull and kind of claustrophobic and architecturally grey and boxy. But actually, Euston Station, architecturally speaking, is quite important. When it was built in the 1960s, it was light, it was airy, it was this new kind of design, it was this new kind of open plan scheme. Unfortunately, over the years, we've then kind of built over it, if that makes sense, and built in ticket offices and built over through the gate lines. It was, if you look at videos and pictures of the old design of Euston when it first opened, very open plan, very spacious, very well lit, uses a lot of natural light. And actually, I think modern Euston is an important building. I know people sort of lament the Euston Arch and everything and that being demolished, but I think modern Euston would be a loss if they demolished that, but that's my opinion. Will modern trains be able to make appearances on the map soon? Could you explain a bit more about that? Will modern trains be able to make appearances on the map? My map? Not sure what you mean. Explain about that. Services between Skegness and Nottingham need improving. No more than 3 to 5 cars in peak hours. Yeah, you'll see when we did the trip up to Shippey Hill, then Chris and I went on sort of a little tour around some of the branch lines ourselves. And we took a train from Norwich to Sheringham, and it was literally one of the 153s, just the single DMU, and it was like summer holiday, half term, and it was just absolutely, it was like being on the tube. So yeah, more investment in rolling stock instead of HS2 maybe. Just reading some of your comments. Hopefully things are still moving behind me. I can hear it sort of at the corner of my ear. Can't help but noticing my 2 CEP. I'm currently modelling the 5 variant of the Class 411. Yeah, it's so the reason why I've got 2 coaches running in that formation instead of the correct 4. Obviously, you get 4 in the set with that Class 411. The reason I've only got 2 working is because this schedule is sending things round to Croxley West, and it's just slightly too long if I have 3. It does kind of fit, and I can use it, but for the automation, it kind of fouls the points if I have it in 3 CEP mode, which there was an instance of 3 CEPs working in that kind of formation. Did I know that Euston is busier than King's Cross? It's probably in one of my reviews of the station statistics, but it is a very busy station. Ben's Model Railway says we were on the 5 hours. This is Flying Scotsman again. See, I'm having about 7 different conversations at once. It's hard to keep up. For 5 hours, so give it a 3.5 out of 5. The food was okay, nothing special. They call it Pullman dining, even though it was upgraded BR Mark 1 coach. So words with the manager. Okay, interesting. This is the thing with the. I don't know if they have proper actual cooking facilities on those kind of charter trains, but certainly on the Caledonian Sleeper, if you are going to eat on that, it's just a microwave. So even though the food does look kind of good, I mean, we didn't have it because of the whole kind of pitch black Fort William diner car. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, pull down the description. I put the link to the calling Caledonian Sleeper video there. We were going to eat on the train, but we had the problems with the diner car, so we didn't. But I later then just discovered it's just microwave food, so yeah, no loss. What line or route would I like to travel end to end? I'm currently in the Lake District and would like to do the Cumbria line when I'm not with the other half. The one that I haven't done that I really want to do is the Kyle of Lochaush to Inverness. So I did drop in and visit Kyle of Lochaush, and there will be a video on it, but I unfortunately didn't have time to take any trains from it. We were driving through. But I would like to do that route up to Inverness. I thoroughly recommend the Malig to Fort William. If you're going to do it on the Jacobite, you could do it on the Jacobite, or you could do it on the normal train. They're both enjoyable as each other. The thing I think with if you're going to do the Jacobite steam train, or sometimes known as the Harry Potter train, as it goes over the Glenfinnan Viaduct, is be aware that it's almost as busy as being on a commuter train in London, because the seats are all fully booked out. It's very busy. Everybody's kind of clamouring to get the one shot of Glenfinnan Viaduct out of the window, so they're kind of everybody's fighting for space for getting those shots out of the window. Actually, I kind of enjoyed getting the Sprinter back from Malig, because we only did a single journey for that. I kind of enjoyed getting the Sprinter just as much, because it was a bit quieter. So yeah, I thoroughly recommend the Malig to Fort William, and the Fort William down to Glasgow, that route as well. That's absolutely fantastic. The West Highland line, it's called. TransPennine Express needs improvement. 3 coaches on a Saturday night. Yes, so I used to live in Huddersfield, and I used to commute to Keighley. So I'd get a train to Leeds, TransPennine Express to Leeds, and then a train to Keighley. And yeah, coming home from Leeds to Huddersfield, these trains going onwards to Manchester Airport, it's a very important service. And you've only kind of got a 3-car DMU, and it's absolutely packed out. Yeah, TransPennine Express need a lot of investment. They are going to get some new loco hauled rolling stock, I believe. Goodbye to Southwest 455. You're off. Thanks for joining us very much. Should we nationalise the railways? I'm kind of for nationalising the railways, yes. I don't think the model we have at the moment works. I'm not necessarily completely against privatisation. It can work. It's just I don't think the franchise system works in the UK. Obviously, the birth of railways in the UK, everybody was a private company, and all the railway lines we have were born out of private companies. So it's not necessarily a bad thing to have privatised railway, but I think to do it properly, the company themselves would have to own the rolling stock, the infrastructure itself, all that kind of stuff. At the moment, we have a system where the track and the infrastructure is owned by the government, and then just companies get to occasionally run services on them, which I'm not quite sure about if that system works very well. So at the moment, yes, I'm in favour of nationalisation, maybe so we can get Network South East back. What do I think? This is from Susan. What do I think of HSTs? It depends which HSTs. East Midlands trains, love a HST on East Midlands trains. Very spacious, very comfortable, even in standard class. GWR is rubbish. It's just like being on a pacer, but going very, very fast. Greater Anglia, Southend to London, Liverpool Street needs improvements. Yeah, again, quite old rolling stock now, that route. Hopefully, maybe it'll be improved with Crossrail. C2C seems more reliable service than the Liverpool Street line. C2C have the benefit of having their own network. They don't have much to worry about, do they? So they only have sort of one line and a couple of loops. So I can see why C2C is a little bit more reliable. If you were to close any London terminal, what would it be? Why would you want to close Marylebone? That's interesting. That's from Tommy. I'm not sure you could close any. I suppose Cannon Street is sort of a Monday to Friday job, isn't it? Would you close it to invest in another terminus, maybe improve Blackfriars or something? it suddenly got very political. Everybody's talking about nationalising the railways and all that kind of stuff. Everybody's now talking about the difference between national. Yeah, it's got very political all of a sudden. I'm just scrolling up to see if I can bring it back to model railways. Have you got any more model railway questions? I think we're gonna do. I've been waffling on for 35 minutes. I was only gonna do 15. Right, let's give it another 5-6 minutes. Have you got any more model railway questions? Any questions about the channel? Don't call you Tommy. Sorry, your name is in the description. What would you like to be called? And I'll call you that. If Labour get in, do you hope they go sectorisation like in NSE? I don't think they've worked any of that out. Basically, I think the deal is they'd gradually take back the franchises. So I don't think we'd see sectorisation. I'm not sure what we'd see. Do I have any steam locos? Yes, I had a steam loco running on the last stream. So that was class L1. I've got another couple of steam locos. Maybe I'll I'll have a steam loco live stream next time. How about that? That'll be good. How long have I had Woodford Wells? This is from Toby. I think I've been working on it about 2.5 years, something like that. In terms of working on it, that's kind of slowed down. I haven't done much massive work on it for quite a long time because it's mostly done. There are a few little things that you can always do to a layout, but scenery, all that kind of stuff, it is mostly done. So it's all about running and it's all about reviewing stock now. Do I have any Triang stock? I don't have any Triang stock, no. Do you have any Triang stock? That's from Fred's Trains. Let's see. Still talking about the privatisation stuff. Have I ever considered purchasing stuff from Rapido Trains, venturing to the UK market? Pacer, just because. So Rapido Trains did the APT, the experimental train. That was a fantastic model. Saw loads of reviews on that. Possibly not quite the right setting for Woodford Wells, but I do acknowledge they are fantastic trains. So they're obviously putting a lot of effort into creating really good quality models. So absolutely, I would try buying one of those if they did something suitable for Woodford Wells. So they're going to do some Pacers, are they? In the right livery, I might get a Pacer. It's not the right setting, but yeah, maybe. I did have a Hornby Pacer. They weren't very good. Can I do a layout update? A layout is never done. Very true, Ben. Very true. Actually, I wrote some notes of things that I do want to do with Woodford Wells, and I've been waffling for nearly 40 minutes, and I haven't even looked at my notes. So, things that I do want to do about Woodford Wells in the future, I do want to upgrade some of the signals. So, Train Tech are bringing out some new signals with some route indicators on them that I want to expand on. So I'll probably replace the signals at some point, and I also want to get some new ground position signals at some point as well. But my next big thing will probably be the upgrade of TrainController to silver, just so I can do some more kind of features. So that's what's next for Woodford Wells. What do I think about the Pacer? It's an awful train. Sorry if you like them. They were supposed to be a stopgap in the 1980s, and they're still going. I think it's awful that the North have to put up with them and that the Southwest have to put up with them. I really hope, for the sake of the North and the Southwest and these more rural locations, is that the D train, the Viva Rail D stock revival, is a success. I really do hope so, because they shouldn't be putting up with Pacers. They're just buses on rails. Good evening from Craig. Hello. How do you get Woodford Wells counted? How do you get Woodford Wells counted in your tube challenge? I'll send you a special picture, and or maybe I'll do a map or something, and you can tick that off. Most interesting station in Essex? Not sure, because I've not been to all the stations in Essex, but Walton was certainly very interesting. I did really like Braintree. I didn't know how much it looked like Epping. I did like that. Right, I'm going to do a couple more questions, and then I think it is probably time to go. If someone makes a D78 stock from 00 scale, how quickly would I buy it? Very quickly. That would be a must for me, Woodford Wells, and this for Croxley West as well. The pacer is a bus on a wagon, from Susan. Yes, I completely agree. People slating the pacers now. Now I feel bad for them, but no, they're awful. Where did I get my London Underground track for Croxley West? So do you mean the third and the fourth rail? So what you do is you just buy some normal Hornby track or some Pico track, whichever scale you want to buy. Mine is code 75, but you can have code 100, that's perfectly fine. And the third and fourth rail you then have to install on the top, and you buy Pico code 60 rails, and then you kind of just glue them in yourself, and you position it yourself. And there's Pico also do the little the insulators. You can see bottom right there, the little white blobs. I can't remember for the life of me what they're called, but they also do those to give you the kind of full effect. Aberdeen bus videos. Hello, thanks for joining. Will you come to Scotland? I've already done the Caledonian Sleeper. I'm going to do another 2 videos from Scotland, the Jacobite steam train, and a little look at Kyle of Lochaush. Fred's Train says he thinks Rochford Station has some Network Southeast branding. If it does, take a picture, send it in. Would I get a 68 stock? Do you mean the class 68, or do I mean 1968 stock, or do you mean 1962 stock? What was the 68s? The Cravens, the Ongar, the ones that lasted on the Epping to Ongar stretch, or do I mean class 68? Good question on both. I'm not sure. I'd have to have a look. Better go soon at GCSE exam. Good luck, Matthew, for your GCSE exam. People are saying don't feel sorry for the pacers. Scrap them. I'm glad we're all on the same page about pacers. Right, how long have I been waffling now? This has been lots of waffle. 42 minutes. Right, I think it's time to say goodbye, just in case people are going to watch this back and just watch me waffle on. This was only supposed to be 15 minutes, and yet it's been 42. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. We've had a great chat tonight. I really would like to do some more of these soon, so do watch out for them. Thanks for all your questions. Guys, it's been great. I really enjoyed this one. Sorry my voice has been croaky. Goodbye to Ben's Model Railways there. Aberdeen bus video says Pacers are great. I knew somebody would like the Pacers, so sorry for offending Pacer fans. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me, everybody. I will see you guys soon. You've been with Calling All Stations, and we'll see you at the next stop.